Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the International Booker. I have more questions than answers, and we're going to kind of just talk about it today. Hopefully this will be relatable. It will get you thinking about the International Booker, whose long list is going to be coming up pretty soon. And I'd really actually love to hear more from you than to offer any real sort of astute knowledge about the prize in any way. If you are new to my channel, then hi, I'm Shelly. I love keeping my finger on the pulse of what's hot, especially in the book market. I'm just so interested in especially book prizes, literary prizes, what everyone's reading right now. I'm nosy in that way, and I'm a huge reader myself. And so if that's also your jam, if you like those things, I would encourage you to subscribe and stick around. Otherwise, let's just go ahead and get into the meat of this video. The International Booker started back in 2005. It's a relatively young prize. It hasn't even hit its 20-year mark. And it has changed. It has changed quite a bit over the years. So it looks like at least in 2000, so the first year was in 2005. Then 2006, there is no winner or long list or anything like that. And then in 2007, they awarded the prize to someone with a beautiful literary career. So who was the winner? Oh, Achuna Akabe, who wrote Things Fall Apart. And then again, we have no winner in 2008. I'm not really sure why we're leapfrogging years. And then in 2009, we have Alice Munro. So I'm not for short story writer for her lifetime body of work. So I don't think, from what I'm gathering in my reading, that the International Booker has always been awarded to a translated novel. But that changed along the way. And so now a lot, at least when I think about the prize, and please share, especially those of you who've maybe kept up with this prize for a long time, please share your knowledge. But now all of the books that the International Booker honors are translated novels, and I think of it as a literary translation, like a book in translation, a celebration in that. And so the prize has had this evolution, and so now what the prize is that there is a long list. Let me see how many were for last year. In 2022, there were 22. In 2022, there were 13 books longlisted for the International Booker, and then there is a 6-book shortlist. These are all novels in translation from all over the world. We have Korea, a book written in, or translated rather, from the Korean into English, a book written originally in Japanese that was translated Spanish, Polish, Danish. I mean, so it's really this very multicultural event in which there is just a lot of people and countries being represented. And so it goes from it went from 13 books to 6 books to a single winner. Now so the interesting thing is that I often look back and I try and see, like, what have I read from the International Booker? Like, maybe I have a small collection of books in my own library, in my own physical library at home, that represents the International Booker books out there. And in my sort of perusing of the list, so many books were new to me. And I only have one book that was honored at some point, and that is The Story of a Lost Child by Elena Ferrante. And this was translated by, I want to make sure we honor the translator because that's really one of the big things, Anne Goldstein. So Anne Goldstein, I believe, translates all of Elena Ferrante's novels, and so she was honored. This book was longlisted, shortlisted, I'm not really sure, back when it was translated. And so this is the only book that I know of that has been honored by the International Booker. I also have a book which I didn't bring with me, but I have some of Lydia Davis's essays, and she's a translator. She translated Swan's Way, the first installment in the In Search of a Lost Time series by Marcel Proust. She has translated that first novel. as a project, as a component, as a piece. She was contributing to a larger project, and so she only translated the first novel with, I don't believe, any plans to translate the rest of the story. So anyway, so I have one of her books, not even that book. I just have some essays that she wrote, and I think it covers her approach to translations. And she was honored by the International Booker at some point. But otherwise, I don't own anything. So my my collection of books is rather dry, rather sparse when it comes to International Booker honors and honorees. So I guess my first question to you all is, have you read anything by the International Booker, and has it been successful? So 2 questions there. And what is your relationship with the prize? I'm a total noob. And so I guess that brings me to right now, this moment. So the International Booker, the long list, is going to be announced on March 14th. That's in a couple weeks. That's actually in less than a couple of weeks. And I'm not going to lie, I'm curious. I'm curious about the prize. I want to follow it in some way. So I have 2 minds about me. The first mindset is like, I want to follow the prize and buy what I want to buy from it and get excited about it, and maybe cherry pick a couple of the books if they speak to me, and really enjoy the process of following this prize. And then there's this other side of me that is feeling incredibly frugal. And I am skeptical, to be honest, because I don't have a relationship with this prize. I don't know how it goes between me and the novels. And so I want to save my money and not spend anything on the books that are longlisted, shortlisted, or won. And so I'm in 2 minds about it. I'm feeling excited, and yet I want to hold on to my wallet, to the cash in my wallet. So I also, one book that has been on my radar and that I've thought about quite a bit in the last couple of months for personal reasons that I'm not going to get into. But I have been thinking about The Books of Jacob by Olga Turgenev. Tokarczuk. I should have practiced before I started. But anyways, The Books of Jacob. I have heard this is a very academic behemoth of a novel that talks about the figurehead of Jacob, who is a very famous Jewish icon in their history. And the way the story is told is that you never ever get Jacob's perspective. You only get the people around him who talk about him. And I heard that it's kind of, it's intimidating, I would say, for people because the language or the approach is rather sort of highfalutin, very literary, very smart. Academic is actually the words they use, which I don't know what that means. Perhaps too much so. I don't know. And then, and for those who have read it, seem to have really liked it. But most of the people I know who read it have listened to it on audiobook. Point is, that book I've been thinking about. So maybe I'll just I'll honor the Booker by reading The Books of Jacob, because that was shortlisted last year. Okay, so then here's the last component of this, which I think for me is a bit crucial. And it's in terms of accessibility. I mentioned that I don't want to pay for a lot of books, and maybe all of you were, rightfully screaming at the screen as we hang out. And you're like, there's the library, Shelley. There's just use your library skills. And, part of me is like, yes, the library exists. However, my library doesn't purchase very many books that have made it onto the International Booker. I don't know why. Actually, I just went through the entire long list and searched them on our online public access catalog, like on our OPAC on my library's website. And they own 2 books. From my library for free, I could get 2 books that made it on the long list, the short list, and the winner for 2022. And I didn't go back further. I just wanted to kind of use a sample of, the books from last year. And the ones that they owned were The Books of Jacob. So it was written by, let's be a little professional about this. So The Books of Jacob by Olga Turgenev. I feel like I'm saying that so bad. And it is translated from the Polish by Jennifer Croft. And then they also own Tomb of Sand by Jintanji Shri, and it was translated from the Hindi by Daisy Rockwell. Those are the only two that they own, and Tomb of Sand was the winner. So I'm wondering if my library purchased it out there because it won the International Booker. So I want to be a part of this year. I want to just follow this prize with the enthusiasm that I bring to all the prizes that I follow. I'm curious about it, even if it's sort of like an afar off curiosity, but I am curious. I do want to know about it. So yeah, where do you stand? I know I'm kind of repeating myself. Where do you stand with the International Booker? Are these books available to you at your local library? Or is your local library like mine, who they seem like they don't pay attention to the International Booker at all? Or maybe they only pay attention in as much as they know who the winner is and purchase that book. Is this something that you followed and found, really kind of fulfilling, to follow? Let me know. Or have you picked up some gems? Like, I know that Elena Knows by Claudia Pinedo, translated from the Spanish by Frances Riddle, that seems to have had a life of its own. Like, it made it onto the International Booker, and I feel like that book has really kind of made it into the consciousness of a lot of readers, and it has been read quite widely by a lot of readers. And then there are books that, if it wasn't for the International Booker, I don't know, I just would have no idea. Like, for me not following other booktubers that follow the International Booker, I would have no idea that they existed, like Paradise by Fernanda Melchor, translated from the Spanish by Sophie Hughes. Like, I wouldn't have ever known about that. But yeah, I guess that's it. So let me know all the tea between you and the International Booker. For me, the story is quite sparse. But anyhow, that's it. And I don't have any predictions because I'm just not great with predictions videos. And though it would be fun, I don't keep up with the translated literature market enough to know what is eligible this year. So I'm really curious as to what's going to happen and how this is going to shake out between me and the International Booker. The long list comes out on March 14th, so I guess I'll be waiting with bated breath, though not really. I will be waiting with some curiosity for the long list to come out, and then I'm curious as to how many books my library will actually have. So we'll see. Okay, now I'm just talking in circles. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.